Enjoy it. It's Café Anyway, somewhere in podCastro Valley.
It's Mike's Daily Podcast.
The last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica, episode 2889. And
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Mike Matthews here at the Café Anyway, somewhere in podCastro Valley, the last place on earth. Mike Matthews singing, and hopefully I am trying to wing it through this song. It's really good. It's not long. It's very short. And I think that's why I'm done with talking about things, although you might have some kind of retort to that wonderful song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I am in the grips of a fight, a war with poison oak,
Mike's
and taking
Daily
the thing they usually give you,
Podcast.
prednisone,
Yeah!
and it's working. It was working really great yesterday. Now today it's kind of lost its it's lost steam. It's lost its effectiveness, and I'm feeling the itchiness come back, and that's not good. But it's that's what they give you, and there's side effects like, oh yeah, you can't sleep very well. I slept horrible last night. I don't even think I was sleeping. Maybe I was in a daze. Maybe I was hallucinating. This is what being on that does, but I'm finding this is my only solution. So congrats to Silicon Valley. The median home price in the San Jose, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara area hit $2.08 million last quarter. That's the median home price. The first time a U.S. metro area has exceeded $2 million. It's like you go through those neighborhoods, and those houses are just like the same houses you'd see anywhere else in the country. And not that fancy, and they're tiny. Tiny backyards, tiny front yards, if they have a backyard or front yard at all. It's ridiculous what they are charging. 86% of renters say they can't afford to buy a home, and 54% say they will never afford one there.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And I don't know what the big deal. It's all because the computer revolution began there, and the web and the internet and all the advances and such. And the technology, the simple technology I'm using now to do a podcast to you has been through all the revolutions that were done there in Silicon Valley. And the podcast picture, last one was of the late great Basil the Boxer. I think today we will have his long descendant, distant ancestor would be Rocky the cat. We'll have a picture of him at mikesdailypodcast.com that you can check that out there, and all the past podcasts and past podcast pictures. And we are doing this podcast live, video streaming it on Facebook, facebook.com/mikesdailypodcast. And we upload the video for about 30 days, and then they take it down, thankfully. $7 million for 30 seconds. That's the amount a 30-second commercial during the Super Bowl, that's what it's going for. $7 million for 30 seconds. And when I began that story,
this show is clean.
30 seconds ago, I would have just owed $7 million if this was the Super Bowl. Fox is nearly sold out of its Super Bowl inventory for next year already, and is insisting on other Fox-related commitments. I'm not sure what that means, but that's what they want. Investing in beauty and makeup, Warren Buffett bought $266 million of Ulta Beauty, and Ulta Beauty has, if you didn't know, 1,350 stores. I know in the years that I was married, my ex-wife loved to go into those places, and I would go in and go, well, I don't know what any of this is. What is this stuff? And then walk out and try and find a couch in the mall to sit on. And that's back when I used to carry around my man bag, my man purse. It's not a purse. It's a back. It's a side. What is the famous quote from the Hangover movie. And I have it on a t-shirt somewhere. Oh, by the way, the t-shirt I'm wearing today is of the late, great Bob Ross. And you can't see it.
Mike is on it, man.
Man go where no man has gone before.
We love it, Mike.
If you happen to make it to the Facebook page and see the video, then there's no point to do it anyway because the video is in reverse. And it's a mirror image, so you're just seeing a reversed Bob Ross. And I guess a reversed me as well. Let's see, Indiana Jones. Let's see. The man purse. You actually going to wear that? It's where I keep all my things. I get a lot of compliments. Plus, it's not a purse. It's called a satchel. Indiana Jones wears one. Satchel. That's right.
This is Mike's Podcast Picnic.
And in my satchel today, I have brought us all sandwiches. You're welcome. Sandwiches! And we're using today that weird keto bread that we don't know what's supposed to be in it. It's got seeds. That's all we know. It's got seeds. It's supposed to be good for you. Okay, so there's Ulta Beauty stores. They have cosmetics. I don't know what that is. Fragrances. I think my nose knows.
Got through that. I got into it.
Skincare products. Ooh, I need that lately with the poison oak wreaking havoc on my skin. Hair care products. Well, that's useless with me. And salon services. Ooh. Okay, so in July, you may have noticed that retail sales surged. Spending rose at a faster clip than expected. American consumers still eagerly shopping, even as the economy weakens. Retail sales climbed.
When you are a man, sometimes you wear stretchy pants.
I don't know if it was retail sales for stretchy pants, but they climbed 1% in the month of July, more so than June. That's from June to July, went up 1%. But over a year, it has rose almost 3%. Sales rose in all but 3 of the 14 categories. Motor vehicles, parts, and dealers sales jumped 3.6%. And these are all really small percentages. Electronics, food, beverage. I don't even know why this is a story, but sales declined at sporting goods and hobby stores and clothing shops, it says. But there was an increase, a slight increase with food and beverage and electronics and appliances and motor vehicle parts and dealers.
Anyway.
Shopping events such as Amazon.com's Prime Day, as well as early back-to-school shopping deals, gave the month's sales a boost and helped it with that. And finally, this little bit here at Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica. I got this from Rob Black. I produce his podcast, and he is heard on AM 1220 KDOW weekday mornings, and he is on Cron TV Monday through Thursday in the 9 o'clock hour. A new Gallup poll finds that 65% of youngins, that would be people 18 to 34, yes.
People get stuck on stupid. You know what I mean?
They do. It's true. It's true. But if you are between that age group, I just called you a youngin'. They now believe that moderate drinking is harmful. So that is hard for those of us. I'm not included in that, but those of you that invest in alcohol, I know a guy that works at a beer factory, makes the beer. A really good beer, by the way.
MTV News. You hear it first.
And M in this case means beer. But investing in alcohol is getting tougher. So there 45% believe that moderate drinking, defined as 1 or 2 drinks daily, is harmful. Which is probably true. Which is true, according to my doctor. Which also, don't forget that alcohol turns to sugar in your system, and that causes all kinds of problems. You get diabetes with too much sugar. You get you get fat, too much sugar, etc.
Babagoo, things to do.
Things to do. One of the things to do is cut down on sugar. So that's more than 43% think it makes no difference. That is a stark contrast to the attitude of the early 2000s, where a whopping 65% of 18 to 34-year-olds now believe moderate drinking is harmful. This is opening new markets rather, for no or low alcohol drink companies. And those include Athletic Brewing. It was recently valued at $880 million. So this dramatic shift, the rise of health-focused podcasts are talking up the dangers and damage that alcohol can cause. Yes, let's hear it for podcasts. Woo! See, podcasts change the world. I may have 0 listens, but hey, someone's listening to podcasts. Some Americans are embracing marijuana for relaxation instead. So,
you will travel into the incredible universe.
I guess with a little of that you will. But you know, it is now legal in a lot of places. The number of daily cannabis users has now surpassed that of frequent drinkers. And all you got to do is ride BART in the Bay Area. Any BART car you get into gives you a contact high. You smell it everywhere. So there's probably some truth to that. But hey, I have, for one thing, the stuff that I'm on the prednisone, I cannot have alcohol. So I'm going to stay away. I don't drink that. Once in a great while, my lovely lady friend and I will head over to one of the amazing microbreweries, local craft breweries that surround us in the Bay Area. And we'll have a beer. That's it. We don't go like 4 or 5 beers, just a. And that's it. And then we're done for like weeks. So maybe that's the best way to go. Look who's outside a Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Oh my gosh, it's Madame Rootabega. I love Indiana Jones. Woo! Was your favorite movie the first one? Yes. Was your least favorite the last one? Yes. Did you love The Last Crusade? No. You know, except for Sean Connery in that, I really am not the biggest fan of that movie. The only thing I remember is, you chose poorly. And then the guy dies.
The Royal Trump Tweet Decree.
Oh, what? So I made that back when it was called Twitter, and back before Twitter kicked him off, and then before Elon Musk bought Twitter, and before Elon Musk called it X, and before he started interviewing Trump on his X, and then has something like 1 billion people watching, and then has all these technical problems. What is it? He had technical problems with DeSantis. Why can't Elon Musk? He's supposed to be Mr. I mean, he gets spaceships up in the air. Well, most of the time. The unmanned ones blow up. Thankfully, they're the unmanned ones. But gosh, so I don't know what Trump's probably calling Kamala again, or some other crazy thing right at this moment. Who knows? But, oh, hey, Gavin Newsom. You know, he's on the way out. This is his last year. So he's doing all kinds of crazy things, like, I mean, not crazy, but like wildly different from what he was doing at the beginning of his term, of his residency, of his, not presidency, governancy. He, in the beginning, he was dealing with COVID at the beginning. And remember, he was always hoarse all the time. And he was trying to move unhoused people into the hotels that were empty because nobody was traveling at that time and all that. Now he's trying to he's doing the opposite with the unhoused. He's trying to get them out of wherever all the tent cities. So many tent cities popped up since 2020. Ay. It's crazy in the Bay Area and all over California. And he's doing what he can now. There was video of him actually cleaning out a encampment. So now he is calling for new oil refinery mandates in California. In the latest episode of his political fight, his big political fight with Big Oil, he called on California's lawmakers to pass new requirements on oil refineries. During the final 2 weeks of his legislative session, his last-minute proposal would allow his administration to require that petroleum refiners maintain a stable inventory in order to prevent fuel shortages and to prevent price spikes when refinery equipment is taken offline for maintenance. And as you know, in California, we get the spikes in our gas prices go nuts, and it causes
Bands mutations.
So that's what he's doing. Hey, and Greg Kihn passed away. And I just talked to somebody who used to do a morning show with him. Greg Kihn did a morning show in San Jose, in Silicon Valley, back when it was just starting to explode. He was on in the late 90s to early O's. And this guy I knew worked with him just about every day and really enjoyed working with him and said he was a good guy and was sad to hear he passed away. He had Alzheimer's. So he goes, that probably explains why the last time I texted him, he didn't respond. And I said, yeah, that might be it's a lot going on with when you got Alzheimer's. So, well, his music lives on, and his music does get played. That song I Lost on Jeopardy, which is not the song he did. That was what Weird Al Yankovic did with it. Weird Al Ankle Bracelet did with it. It's Our Love's in Jeopardy. And then the song, the breakup song, They Don't Ride Like That Anymore. Fantastic music, all his other stuff. And so just... A flying saucer. He's up in that big flying saucer in the sky now. We wish the best for his family and through this tough time. It's tough losing a great... When you lose anybody, but when you lose a great guy like that. So... Nothing but kind words about Greg Kihn. I don't know. I didn't actually work with him, but this guy spoke very highly of him that I work with now. So that's basically it. Oh, except for these guys outside of Café Anyway.
You know, there's a real scary holiday coming up.
Ooh, Labor Day. That's right.
Hello, Dave, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley.
Mike, we like that satchel that you got, Dave, with the sandwiches, Dave.
Yeah, sandwich, yeah. Do you know that? Thanks, guys. Hey, everybody gets a sandwich. You get a sandwich and you get a sandwich.
Oh, thank you, D.
Yeah, thanks. Do you know that? Excellent. Satchels full of sandwiches are great. Let's hear it for that. Let's hear it for you. And if you would like to have me hear you, you can call me at this number.
Jarelname.
Here's the number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline.
Yeah.
Area code 510-228-4640.
Awesome.
Magnification.
And with all things Mike's Daily Podcast, we go to the mainframe and hear from A-Frame. Here's where you can catch all the past podcasts and podcast pictures and all things Mike's Daily Podcast.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!